Meeting.
Wait a minute. You gotta get the thing going.
Oh, sorry. All good?
Yep.
Okay.
We got lights.
The regular city council meeting for Algonac, Tuesday, October 3rd, 2017, come to order. Let's start with roll call, please.
Mr. Bembas?
Here?
Corey Blair?
Here.
Stoneburner?
Here.
Mayor Tesh? Mr. Martin?
Here.
Mr. Thompson?
Here.
Okay, can we have a moment of silent prayer, please? And if we could, let's stand for a pledge of allegiance.
We need a motion to excuse the mayor. She's out of town.
That's up to you guys.
I make a motion we excuse the mayor. Support.
Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, ayes have it. Okay, public comment. This is the time where citizens can come up and speak for 5 minutes.
Good evening. I'm Wanda Eady, 1506 Market Street. This is
I'm Marilyn Gino, 2240 Michigan Street.
the Historical Society of Michigan presents several awards annually to groups and individuals in our state for their outstanding work. The Algonac Clay Township Historical Society was selected this year as the Local Society of the Year. A group of us went to Hope College in Holland on September 22nd and 23rd and attended their conference and banquet to receive the award. The award reads, "The State History Award presented to the Historical Society by the Historical Society of Michigan to Algonac Clay Township Historical Society for local societies, recognizing the exceptional achievements in preserving and advancing Michigan history, September 22nd, 2017. It will be on display at the Maritime Museum, and hundreds of volunteers. Thank you, we're very proud. Hundreds of volunteers throughout the state work every single day to preserve and then display and share their local history. And we are so very, very proud to be the leader of the group this year. Thank you to the City of Algonac and the Township of Clay for your continued support. Without that, we certainly couldn't have achieved all of the things that we have achieved. And we're really proud to be able to preserve and share our local history. Just as an aside, I'd like to say we have 2 fundraisers coming up. One at the Bembas House, which is the Halloween open house. It's October 21st. It starts at 6 o'clock. Tickets are available at the Maritime Museum, and we ask that you bring food for the food pantry, and tickets are $5. And then the annual spaghetti dinner, which most of you have attended, is the 24th of October at St. Catherine Activity Center, and it's from 4:30 to 7. Thank you very much.
Thank you, ladies.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other public comment?
Good evening, Dawn Davy. Gotta read this one. As you know, I submitted an application last month for the vacant seat on City Council. During that process, a good friend submitted a letter of recommendation on my behalf via email to the city clerk. My friend, Mrs. Julie Isro, is very involved with volunteer activities at Holy Cross School and with whom I've worked on many projects over the past 4 years. Projects that benefit the school we pay tuition for our children to attend and the entire student body. The afternoon following the council meeting on September 19th, Mayor Tesh sent an email to my friend. She didn't indicate that she was anything other than a parishioner, as Mrs. Tesh is a member of Our Lady of the River Parish. She stated she wanted to discuss her letter of support and asked in which capacity Mrs. Isro was involved with Holy Cross. My friend was surprised why a parishioner would ask in what capacity she works in the school her 5 children attend over an issue that did not involve the parish. Mrs. Isro lives in New Haven, and as such wouldn't have an interest in the city of Algonac's council. But she questioned why a member of Our Lady on the River Parish would have an email that was sent to the city clerk of Algonac. Mrs. Isro did not know when she received that email that the parishioner making inquiries was the mayor of Algonac. On the same day, Mrs. Tesh called Holy Cross School after staff had gone for the day and left a message. She again identified herself solely as a parishioner. She asked to have Mrs. Isro return her call. Mrs. Isro was informed of this call the next morning in an email from the school secretary. This additional contact caused Mrs. Isro to be concerned because by then she was aware of Mrs. Tesh's title in Algonac. I apologize for her having to spend time on this, all from one letter of support from a friend. Mrs. Isro replied to her email on September 21st, and the reply was also CC'd to the city clerk, as that was where her original letter of support was sent. I state here at this podium that there has been one instance where I mentioned Mrs. Tesh as it relates to Holy Cross. That was to explain to my then 7-year-old why the lady he recognized from Mass on Friday, who was a Eucharist minister the day of his profession of faith, who was standing behind us while we sat at a table during a concert in the park, called the police when we weren't doing anything wrong. I explained that she just didn't think that we were supposed to have a table there, so that's why we put the table away. Council does not respond to public comments, and Mrs. Tesh is not here, but I will ask just the same. What discussion would Mrs. Tesh possibly need to have with anyone supporting me for a vacant council seat? Why would she, for any reason, need to know in what capacity Mrs. Isro's involvement at the school is where I volunteer? Why would she inquire about me at all the day after that council seat was filled? Why would she address herself as a parishioner in making those inquiries when she had Mrs. Isro's email only as a member of this council, not as a member of Our Lady on the River Parish? Mrs. Tesh toured the school last Friday and was introduced to Mrs. Isro while Mrs. Isro was volunteering in the library. She was then introduced as a mayor of Algonac, and Mrs. Isro was just introduced as Julie. Mrs. Tesh then asked her what her last name was. She did not acknowledge any email exchange between the two or calling school to speak with Mrs. Isro. I stood at this podium before pointing out that the unprofessional conduct that occurs at council table and the effect that that behavior has had on the city. The mayor has now taken that conduct beyond this table to a resident of this city, a resident of another municipality, and to the school where our children attend. I was not running an election. I submitted an application for a vacant seat on council. That vacancy was filled the evening before Mrs. Tesh's inquiry into my volunteers' activities at the school where my child attends. I am not now, or will be in the foreseeable future, seeking a position on council or on any board or committee, nor was I when the mayor made her inquiries. If this conduct is condoned by council, why would anyone answer the call to be involved? There are provisions in the city charter that allows council to call for an investigation into another member's conduct. The charter also states that the member whose conduct is under investigation does not have the ability to vote on that issue. I have asked before, I am now demanding, as a resident that you have sworn to represent, for an investigation of Mrs. Tesh's conduct to determine if she has the ability as mayor to represent the city with the integrity that we expect from an elected official. Your sworn duty
Pardon
is to
me.
put the best.
Time is up.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
My name is Dana Van Ash Smith. I live at 2112 Washington Street. I've lived on Washington Street in Algonac for now 38 years. Not in the same house, but on Washington Street. Last month, at the city council meeting, the one at the beginning of the month, there were a few neighbors that came up and were saying things about things that were happening on my property and my house, kind of things. So I'm up here just to clarify those things, some of the things that were said about me and the things that we were supposedly doing on our land. So first of all, one of the comments was said by a neighbor that said that people were living in our camper. We have a 32-foot camper on the side of our house. That's not true. There were things that some of the neighbors were saying that we were firing off guns in the backyard, which is untrue. We don't fire off guns in the backyard. That's city limits. We don't fire guns. They also said that we go out our back door and we urinate in our yard, which is also untrue. My husband built a porta-john in our backyard, and we have a porta-john. We use it when we're out back, and that's it. We also have chickens that are used as food for us. We had a couple roosters at one point. We have gotten rid of the roosters because of the neighbors' complaints. We also have gotten rid of the camper because of the neighbors' complaints. I would hope that my neighbors would come to me or my husband when there is something going on that they don't like, instead of calling the cops and or the fire department every time they feel something is not right. Like I said before, I've lived on this road before any of my neighbors that are complaining have, so I'm really not going anywhere. I've lived in Algonac my whole life. Saturday, the fire department came out for a smoke complaint. They came out and they inspected our, in the ordinance, in the burning ordinance, it says we have to have fire in like a 24 by 24 container, and it has to be trees, that we're burning wood, not garbage or plastic or anything. So we didn't get any bad bad things on us from the fire department. We didn't get in trouble because our fire was in a container 24 by 24 and we were burning trees. So that's all I wanted to say, was that there was a clarification. And we just want to be left alone. We don't want cops. We don't want fire department at our house when there's smoke. People are going to burn no matter what. If you got it in a container, they're not going to write you a ticket for it. So that's all I want to say.
Thank you. Okay. Next, please.
My name's Walter Audi. I live at 2113 Washington, directly across the street from Philip and Dana. I've only lived here for about a month. I moved from Royal Oak to here. I love it here. I just want to say one thing to clarify. I've lived there for a month. I have not seen them do anything wrong at all. They've been very nice to us. Everybody's been very nice to us. The whole city has been. I love it here. The respect that they give us, and they've helped us around our house for only being there for a month, has been absolutely outstanding from all the neighbors. I felt compelled to come here because I've seen the police being there several times, the fire department being there, and what's going on is not happening the way it's been told. They have not done anything wrong. I live directly across the street from them. No loud music, no gunshots, no nothing. And I just want to clarify that. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, motion to hear the city manager's report.
Make a motion, we hear city manager's report.
Support.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Good evening, Mayor Pro Tem and members of council. Today is my first city managers meeting, so I'm very excited to be here. I've been here a week, and I'd like to thank you all for the warm welcome that I've received from each and every one of you, as well as from the staff members and the many residents of Algonac that have come in to say hello. So it has been a very, very busy week. but it's certainly been very enjoyable and everyone has been very welcoming, so I thank you for that. So I just wanted to make note today that on the consent agenda, I changed it up a little bit for you, where on the consent agenda I have placed items that you typically do on an annual basis. So that is why you see the approval of the trick-or-treat hours from 5 to 7 p.m. on Tuesday the 31st, the approval of the bonfire permit for October 31st from 7 to 10, and the closing of the street on Halloween. Those are all associated with your Halloween event that you typically do, so that's why they're on the consent agenda. So I just wanted to explain that. I also wanted to remind you that Friday, October 6th is the Algonac homecoming football game, followed by the parade, which will go right here in front of City Hall, so I'm looking forward to that. And I wanted to let everyone know that our fire department continues to be actively involved in the community, and that they will be at Millside Elementary doing some educational programs next week, as well as working on a fire safety day at the Algonac Clay Library. DPW is going to begin leaf removal starting October 16th. The schedule has been published and is also posted on the city website. And we've started to make some changes to the website. You may have noticed that the names of the mayor and city council members have been added to the website. We're going to be adding your email and contact information shortly thereafter, and updating the website as best as we can to have the most current information. This is also the first time that both the Planning Commission packet and the City Council packet were both posted to the website, so that all the residents have access to those packets online. We are looking to start a city Facebook page so we can start sharing positive community information with the residents of the community and the City Council. So that's something we're looking into. The clerk's office just received some new election equipment. The entire county got new election equipment, and we are in the process of getting to be familiar with that equipment, so we're ready in time for the election. Let's see. Also included in your packet this week was an update from Project Control Engineering, so that you knew where we were with all of the capital projects that are ongoing. And I think that is all I have. Thank you
Okay.
very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Does anybody have any questions or comments for Denise? Okay. Okay, well, I guess we get used to things being a little bit different, and anytime you have a different staff, things change a little bit. Is council okay with the way we did consent agenda? It kind of makes sense to me once Denise explained it.
I think it, yeah.
Okay, okay. So then I'll just need a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I make a motion, we approve this consent agenda as presented.
I support.
Okay. Questions, comments, concerns?
Just the only thing that is different than we've done in previous years for all the residents is that we're gonna close Smith Street between Washington and Michigan Avenue for the bonfire as requested by the church, so that everybody can just walk across, they don't have to worry about getting run over by cars and everything. So that's the only thing different this year, so.
Okay. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. Okay, so that leaves us with new business. And we need a motion to accept the resignation of Councilman Irene Byrd effective October 3rd.
I make a motion, we accept the resignation letter of Councilman Irene Byrd.
I support.
Okay, questions, comments?
I would assume that we'll have city administration send a letter of appreciation for all of her, I think it was 19 years of
19.
service to the city of Algonac.
Absolutely. Okay, those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay. And just to follow up on that, we're taking applications for that seat starting tomorrow through next Friday, correct?
Should be
Next-
Thursday.
Next Thursday.
Thursday, 4 o'clock is what we normally do.
Thursday, 4 o'clock?
That gives you, the city administration, time to get that out in our Friday packets.
Absolutely. It has to be posted. We're publicizing it. It'll be in on the 11th. That's as soon as we can get it publicized. So we'd accept applications from now and through the end of day on the 12th. And it would be on your agenda for the 17th for you to appoint a new person to the council. If we waited till the November agenda, it's after the 30 days as so we
Absolutely.
would not meet our charter requirements.
Okay, so they have until October 12th, 4 o'clock to turn in their apps. Okay. Okay, motion to accept accounts payable.
I'll make a motion, we accept accounts payable in the amount of $687,595.70. A lot different than last time.
Yeah.
Support.
Okay, and I think we have to have a roll call vote unless there's questions or comments.
Bembas,
Yes.
Blair,
Yes.
Stoneburner,
Yes.
Tesh, Martin,
Yes.
and Thompson.
Yes.
Okay. Items for next agenda.
I guess I would like to have city administration explore with the MDOT and the St. Clair County Road Commission, maybe a possibility of getting parallel parking on a riverside of our park. What we gotta do to maybe do something like that.
We have to do a traffic study, I don't know.
Well, if that's what we gotta do, whatever we
Okay.
gotta do. I mean, in some of the previous, studies that we've had done by the city of Algonac, that the city did, most of them all recommended that we do something on the riverside for parallel parking.
I think it's a great idea.
Make it more convenient for people to use the park. And we have some picnic tables over there now that took a long time to get in, and every weekend they're used pretty heavily. The other thing I think we need to explore sometime in the spring maybe is figuring out a way to put a bathroom over there.
Okay. Okay.
Well, you realize that when we went for parking before, the MDOT, their main emphasis was flow. So they were not gonna let us put cars to this side on the highway. And we didn't wanna cut into the park anymore, cause it's narrow enough as it is, so we didn't want cut-in parking. So it'd be interesting to see what MDOT say, you know, is there a difference in opinion now, but
Sure.
that's what we faced before.
Well, when we had, before we had the streetscape all set to go, I mean, and they were, on board with it, through their grant, so I think we need to, let's explore it, see what happens. See what they tell us.
Okay. Any other
It
items?
doesn't have to be on the next agenda, cause I'm sure it's not gonna be that fast getting
Right.
answers from
Oh, we,
government organizations, but
Yeah.
at least we get started. I think, I don't know about the rest of the council.
sure. Well, I know we got a lot of stuff, put on the next, after the next agendas. Now that we have a permanent city manager, you're gonna be very busy, cause I think we've all been sitting here with our ideas on hold.
To
Okay.
piggyback on what Mark said, I know we have the picnic tables used constantly. I think we need to look at more things in the park for the,
Mhm.
for the residents
Absolutely.
and for the visitors. I think that to attract them, keep them, but it's sad if you came for a picnic and you had to sit on the ground, if.
Okay, council comments. Mark?
Welcome, new city manager, thank you. Also, I'd like to give congratulations to the Historical Society for their award.
Absolutely.
That's a pretty prestigious thing. That's the second award that the city of Algonac's Algonac and Clay Historical Society has gotten from the state since they've been inception, so I think it's very wonderful.
Absolutely. Corey?
I'd like to again, welcome Ms. Gerstenberg, Denise, to our lovely city here. I'm sure you're gonna do a fabulous job. Historical Society as well, and I'd like to send our grievances and best wishes to all the families that are dealing with that horrible thing in Las Vegas. I mean, it's just a tragedy, so. And thank you, everybody, for coming out. Always a pleasure to see the room fill. Thank you.
Terry?
Well, I'm just thrilled to be here. I'm excited to be on the board or on the council. I know you didn't elect me. I was appointed by the council. But I would like to hear from you. I haven't heard from many people. I'm glad we're updating the emails and the information on our website. So I look at my email all the time. Email me. If you're walking down Market Street, stop by. I'm usually out front with Murphy. But I'd like to hear what you have to say, what you're thinking too. So I'm looking forward to this. And I asked Cliff to cue that music in. You know?
Good job, Cliff.
Okay, Ray.
Yeah, I'd like to welcome Denise as city manager, and I'd like to welcome Terry to the council
Absolutely.
table. And congratulations to the Historical Society on what they've done.
Yes. Ditto to what everybody said. Okay, I guess this will be the last time I mention this, but the dog park is now officially open. There's a few signs that have to be put up and things like that, but we'll get that together and get that up. But it is usable. There's plastic bags out there, the water fountains, the gates, everything is up, and people have been out there. If you look on Facebook, we do have the Friends of Algonac Dog Park site if you want to go on there and join that community. It's nice because there's benches and trees for shade, so it's not just for dogs. People can sit there and chat and all that kind of thing. Last year, the Historical Society had an open house at my house, and we raised $700 at $5 a person coming and taking a tour. And I see some of you out there were there. And we do a different theme each year, and this year it's going to be witches, and we've got the whole house just about decorated. What's that? Oh, I expect her to be there. Yes. And the corn stalks are being dropped off tomorrow because we'll have a corn maze in front of the house if everything goes well. And not only is it just a fun time if you like Halloween, but it raises money for Historical Society. And a lot of people, believe it or not, in our community have not been to our museums. So if you haven't been to the museum and you're looking for something to do, stop in and visit the Maritime Museum. It's pretty awesome, I think. So I hope to see a lot of people there October 21st. And I think that's all I have. So this is where you say...
Motion to adjourn?
Okay. This is where you say second.
Second.
Okay. Meeting adjourned. Thank you, everybody. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I said I'd only be on here if you can have it quick, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm a man of few words.